The results of Ms. Heard's evaluation supported 2 diagnoses: borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder.
Ms. Heard's report of intimate partner violence and the records that I reviewed is consistent with what we know in the field about intimate partner violence.
A week after forensic psychologists hired by Johnny Depp's legal team claimed that Amber Heard had no signs of post-traumatic stress disorder, another psychologist testified in court and claimed that the actress indeed suffered from PTSD. Dr. Don Hughes, a clinical and forensic psychologist, took the stand as the first witness called by Amber's legal team after Depp's side rested their case in the defamation trial against his ex-wife. Surprisingly, this witness has a tainted image and a rusty past that paints her as a fraud. Is it possible that Amber's team hired a crooked doctor to testify in her favor? Let's find out. The WebMD profile of Dr. Hughes, the clinical psychologist, was flooded with negative comments after she testified as the first defense witness for Aquaman actress Amber Heard in a defamation suit filed by her former husband, Johnny Depp. Hughes, who was called to the stand by Amber's legal team, testified that she diagnosed the actress with post-traumatic stress disorder due to what she described as intimate partner violence experienced during her relationship with Depp. As Hughes was on the stand, a WebMD profile with her name and practice information was hit with a barrage of negative reviews. It's unclear whether the doctor created the profile herself. She didn't immediately respond to a request for comment about the page and its reviews. In many of the reviews, commenters accused her of being biased against men in domestic abuse cases, calling her sexist and unprofessional. Bad energy, vicious, and hates men. This review was created by a woman, one review read. A majority of review writers appeared to take issue with the doctor's use of female pronouns when she described victims of abuse, noting that men can also be victims of intimate partner violence. Doesn't believe men can be victims of abuse, another review said. Extreme biased. Guess she'll discredit victims just for money. Some reviews included a derogatory and profane term used to degenerate women. Hughes is the first witness to be called in Amber's defense, which began after Depp's legal team finished presenting its evidence. She told the court that she also conducted supplemental interviews and forensic testing and consulted medical records while diagnosing Amber. The doctor testified that in her diagnosis of Amber, she determined the allegations of emotional and physical abuse the actress reported to be legitimate. She described what she called coercive abuse exhibited by Depp, trying to control his ex-wife's clothing or career choices as an example. The basis of the opinion was looking at all the dynamics in this relationship, looking at not just the hitting and the yelling, but looking at how much more pitting was done. Hughes testified, looking at the coercive control, the obsessive jealousy, the possessiveness, the sexual violence, the choking behavior, the threats to kill. Those are all, as I stated, very significant and often found in cases of lethal domestic violence. Shannon Curry, a clinical psychologist, presented as an expert witness by Depp's legal team, previously rejected the idea that Amber had PTSD. Curry diagnosed the actress with borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder, which Hughes disagreed with. She shared her professional findings after assessing Amber's case files and meeting with the actress 4 times in person and twice via Zoom, totaling about 29 hours. She also interviewed some of Amber's treating physicians and the star's late mom, Paige. Hughes claimed that she always goes into an evaluation with a healthy dose of skepticism and stated that Amber indeed had PTSD, which was due to a reason. In this case, the doctor said the root of Amber's condition was the intimate partner violence by ex-husband Johnny Depp. That's what was pushing the symptoms, she said. 4 tests backed up the diagnosis, the doctor clarified. She also testified that Amber showed no signs of feigning or malingering her mental health. Ironically, a week earlier, Dr. Shannon Curry, hired by Depp's legal team, had said the exact opposite. This is what promoted millions of those following the case to declare Dr. Hughes a serial fraud. And her controversial past in favoring abusive women didn't help either. Just because somebody doesn't have PTSD doesn't mean that they were harmed psychologically by whatever is being alleged. In this case, Ms. Heard is alleging that she was psychologically harmed and that she suffered PTSD because of abuse that she alleges occurred by Mr. Depp, Dr. Curry told the jury earlier. Days later, Hughes said she disagreed with Dr. Curry on the personality disorder diagnosis as well. Depp in his testimony has repeatedly claimed that he has never struck Amber or any woman and has testified that his goal is the truth as he seeks to clear his name in the trial. During Hughes' testimony, Amber wore a painted expression and bowed her head for several seconds. According to the psychologist, contrition comes after the violent outburst phase. The abuser apologizes and swears never to do it again, and the cycle begins again. You're struck in this vicious cycle of how I can be with this man who hurts me, yet I love him so much, Hughes testified. She says it is not uncommon for a victim to yell at her partner or become violent and fight back, a suggestion that wasn't received so well by Depp supporters. Social media users have largely backed Depp in this case, with hashtags like Justice for Johnny Depp racking up nearly 3 billion views on TikTok last month. Some people have posted play-by-plays of each day in court, while others have suggested their own theories about Amber's behavior during the trial. Roaring tweets have been flooding in, where one of the users wrote, "I've been abused. Most of the women I know have been as well. However, men are abused too. I've seen it." A true feminist doesn't blame men for everything. This was in response to Hughes' testimony. Another response to the latest hearing from a Twitter user was, "I am shaking. This is not objective. It is so unprofessional to make assumptions about Johnny's behavior when she did not evaluate him. Men too." One user called Andy Signore appeared brutally frustrated by the doctor's testimony. He tweeted, "What Don M. Hughes, PhD, is doing right now, speaking so factually, based on hearsay from the lying abuse of Amber Heard, will set back actual victims of DV and SA so far. I am so angry at this woman's BS. Paid professional bias. Utterly sickening." Phi Sorler is another user who appeared bothered by the biasness of Dr. Hughes. He tweeted, "Dr. Don Hughes, today you have insulted every single man who has been subjected to abuse with your gender bias, anger, and complete lack of professionalism. Your testimony highlighted why so many men feel afraid and ashamed to come forward." And finally, a user named Ashanti noticed something about the doctor's behavior and tweeted, "Dr. Hughes is secretly reading her notes, more like a script, when she was told not to. WTF? Need to refresh your memory about the lies you're about to spew?" Ahead of the trial, Amber said in a statement that, and I quote, "Hopefully when this case concludes, I can move on and so can Johnny. I've always maintained a love for Johnny, and it brings me great pain to have to live out the details of our past life together in front of the world." Experts now believe that such skewed testimonies may see Amber Heard end up losing the trial against Johnny Depp. Even before the trial started, there were numerous attempts from her legal team to dismiss the trial because they already knew how much evidence against the actress was piled up. But Depp is determined to see off this entire trial until the very end, especially with how much Amber pursued putting him in jail for a crime he claims he never committed. All those tapes that paint a better picture of the relationship are too much to handle for Amber's defense. Johnny truly kept all the receipts. We are only 2 weeks away from the final verdict, and so far, Amber is losing the trial without question. Hold on tight, guys. We're about to see the best of this hearing. Who do you think will win? Comment with A for Amber and D for Depp. In our upcoming videos, we'll be bringing you the last stretch of this riveting trial. The highs, the lows, the hot and the cold, the lies, the truths, and the half-truths. So be sure to subscribe to our channel so that you don't get to miss any of that.